energy. Really played really just a solid team game. Unfortunately, I was excited about this game. One reason in particular, and then unfortunately we had the situation with Rob. But I think it's been so long since the Dayton and Xavier's played where both teams had everybody playing, just to kind of see where we were at. I remember a game here, Thornton didn't play. I remember a game down there, Duncan didn't play in the last couple games. Obviously, we hadn't been at full strength. So I was just excited to kind of see where everything was at. And then, unfortunately, in the first half, Rob got injured. And so we weren't necessarily at full strength. But saw two really good teams play tonight. Two teams that play extremely hard and played just a really good brand of basketball. And we had to play extremely well to be successful. We had to take care of the ball, we had to get back on transition defense, and we had to really defend. And we did those things. The one area of the game that we didn't do as well as I would like is the rebounding. Some of those occurred kind of late when we were scrambling out to try to take away the three, but that's still one area. I keep saying I like this team a lot, and we can keep getting better. That's one area we can do better.
Coach, you jumped out on them early. I don't think they ever led in this game. I mean, you just seized control of this game from the opening tip, didn't you?
Well, we wanted, our defensive pressure was good early. It really was, and that has been the key to our success the whole year. And when we're getting our point guards really pressing the ball, but that's just the start of it. The twos and the threes and the bigs have to come up the court too and help that. It's got to be a five-man defense. Sometimes it gets to be just a solo man-on-the-ball defense, and it's not as good. It's not as effective. But I thought you saw that similar to the St. Joe's game, where we had everybody involved in our defensive pressure, and that made a big difference.
Can you talk about the emotional roller coaster? I mean, you win a big game, but then you see Rob come out in that wheelchair. I mean,
it's hard. It's hard. The kid is giving his heart and soul to this team. In the 6 months we've had him, the progress he's made as a player and as a man and as a student just makes you feel really proud of him being in your program. So we'll find out tomorrow at the surgery exactly what the situation will be. And we're going to have to, fight through it, whatever it is. We're going to have to help Rob. As I said, this was a great win, and our two concerns right now, our two trains of thought, as great as a win as this was, is Rob Lowry and his family and Richmond, and that's what we have to be concentrating on right now.
What is the situation with Rob exactly? I know you don't know
I don't know. He's going in for first thing in the morning for surgery, and then they'll do all the stuff then, and we'll kind of get a read from that. It's I don't want to speculate, and you can't really tell by looking at it, So Doc will go in there. He knows some problem with the tendon, so we'll find out what it is tomorrow morning, and I'm sure you guys will be calling me.
When he went down, there might have been cause for concern, but Steven came right in, made an immediate impact. You had no problem giving him the ball to start the half.
Well, here's the deal. We talked about it all year long. And it's been a big topic of conversation, playing 12 guys, playing 12 guys, playing 12 guys. Can you do that? Can you win doing that? Well, we've won 22 games, and in a situation like this, Steven has not played. Now, he didn't even make the trip this weekend. He has not practiced full. He practiced a little bit yesterday and started getting dizzy, so we sat him out. I have faith in our guys, and more importantly, our guys have faith in each other. And so we can put him in there, and he can respond. He made some mistakes, but you know what? When you play hard and you play with heart and you play with the passion that our team plays with, you can get by with some of that stuff, and that's exactly what happened. Him and a lot of guys were by no means perfect, but they really care about each other. They play well together. It's important to them. I think that the idea of having to step up with Rob being hurt was big for Steven, and he responded extremely well.
What does this win mean? I know you want to keep focus on the next day and next game, but in the big picture, in terms of You had signature win in November, it's Marquette, and obviously tonight. How big was this?
Well, as I said, it was important for two reasons. One, we just lost, and you have to bounce back. You know, if you want to be good, you have to be consistent and resilient. And so that means you had to bounce back. Now, Xavier's not necessarily the team that you're going to get okay, we're playing them, we're going to get a win. You know what I mean? You're going to have to grind it out, and that's what we did. The second thing, to be honest with you, was the next game. And that was the only thing. Our guys, I know I've been taking you off all year about it. Our guys have been unbelievable about today. That's it. So the only thing they're worried about is tomorrow's practice, because they know that Richmond obviously really hurt us last year. We defended them poorly, could not execute offensively, and we're going to have 2 grinder days of practice, so those guys are going to have to really concentrate. And so it was important because now that one's done and we can move on to the next one. And when you talk about signature wins and you talk about this, and that's, in all honesty, that's for you guys to talk about and figure, and all that stuff kind of works itself at the end of the year.
Coach, can you talk about the atmosphere out there tonight?
Yeah, great. I mean, you know, our student section's been unbelievable this year. And as I always talk about, they set the tone and all that stuff, but they've been great. You know, even in some of those early season games where no one knew quite what kind of team we were going to be and all that, they were tremendous there. And, you know, we have a great home court. We have fans that are very, very passionate about this program. Fans that have been part of a lot of important wins throughout the history of this program. And, you know, I think this team has given them a couple of those this year as well. So we just feel good to be part of it. It's a very unique and special place. I know our guys appreciate all the support they get.
Coach, it seemed like Chris Wright probably took it the hardest on Sunday, that loss. What does it mean that he was the one that bounced back, especially as a leader, who dominated in that second half?
Well, you know, the one thing I always talk about Chris Wright, and it's hard for some people to understand, is, and I said it prior to the year, he was going to go through some stuff this year that he would have went through last year as a freshman. And when you go through it as a freshman, you get the kind of a pass. Okay, he's a freshman. He's supposed to play crappy on the road. You know what I mean? And that's okay. He'll learn from it. He'll grow, all that stuff. As a sophomore, because he missed all that time, he goes through some of that stuff. And unfortunately, it makes more of an impact on our team because he is a sophomore and he has a bigger role than he did as a freshman. One of the hardest parts is for Chris to understand that, be okay with that, and move on. He takes things. This program is really important to him, and this team is really important to him. But you have to move on. You make a mistake in the game, you got to move on to the next play. You lose that game, you have to move on to the next game. And we had 2 unbelievable practices where we went after each other. So I had no. He was too jacked up the first half. You know what I mean? You know, if there's a negative with this team, we want it too bad sometimes. He calmed down and played a great second half. So that was good to see, because what he did is he's in the middle of a progression as a player, and he took a step forward today. All right?
Any other questions? Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks.